Rent.
Welcome back to Give Me Rent, everybody. Unfortunately, for a very long time, me, Dylan, and Noah will not be recording in the same area together, so we're now on this platform, Riverside.
Yep,
Shout
had to
out
go mobile.
Riverside. Fortunately, a couple days ago, about a little over a week ago, we saw Superman opening night.
Yes.
Um, let's get into this. I mean, I'm excited to talk about this. I
Yeah.
don't know about you, but I'm really
DC,
excited.
the return of DC. I mean, this was really, I think, ultimately the movie they really needed. And
What the genre needed, superhero movies. This
yeah,
is
I
what the
mean,
genre
we've stressed on the channel many times how important we thought this movie was for the genre, just in movies in general. And I think it's safe to say they kind of stuck the landing.
I think they we were both skeptical but hopeful at the same time. So I definitely want to say that they surpassed my expectations by a lot.
Hmm.
Because the one thing with this movie is, we know James Gunn from what he's done with Marvel and what he's done with DC is he's very true to the characters on purpose. Even with his work, his independent work with Scooby Doo, we'll say, because he hits the characters well in that. But in Marvel did great with the Guardians and getting their personalities correct, I believe so. And then this really captured what Superman is supposed to be.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
symbol of hope.
that really this movie really kind of made me think, and Noah's actually brought this up to me many times, that the last 10 or so years of just Superman content kind of cooked people's perception on the character a little bit. I mean, from Injustice to just the Man of Steel movies, just the darker tone, and also it
Yeah.
didn't really help that Invincible and The Boys was coming out and showing evil incarnations of Superman. Like, everyone's kind of thoughts about the character were not exactly how they should be, which is, the embodiment of hope and he's a friend. He's, you know what I mean? Like, bringing back to the Reeves days. To the Reeve days. He's supposed to just be, the embodiment of what it's, being a good guy. I don't know.
He's he's the first superhero ever created, and I think people forget when he was first created, he was doing the littlest things, like getting a cat out of a tree,
Yeah.
helping someone cross the street. Like it wasn't just about fighting not just like your street level crime or your intergalactic, multi-dimensional
Hmm.
threats. It was just the embodiment of being a very good person and that anyone could be a hero, whether you're a god level person like him or immortal or somebody like us.
Yeah.
And I think he really shout out David Corn Sweat also
I was to say,
phenomenal acting.
what do you think about the performance itself of Superman?
I really thought not even just the lines made sense, but he fit it so well where I was like, okay, this reminds me for those who've seen the DCU, but this is like Superman the animated series. It felt like that's what I was watching.
Hmm.
Like, this is how Superman should act. The way when he's having that monologue almost where he's talking about how he should be to Lex, this is how he should be. He
Hmm.
is Superman is somebody who is a god. He knows he's a god, but he wants to be on the same level as anyone else. To someone who's mortal like us, if he were to die, that's like a billion. That's like the whole population dying because he's that much better than us. But in his perspective, he's equal to everybody, which is
Yeah.
why he will save the littlest things to create peace and hope for others. That's
And
that's the
there's
beauty
just
of
the
the
small
character.
moments in this movie, where he'll save a squirrel, or he'll go out of his way to save, anyone, or even his villains. He clearly does not want to kill. He doesn't want anyone to die. He doesn't want any collateral damage.
He shouldn't kill.
Especially compare that to Man of Steel Superman, where buildings are falling and people are, you know what I mean?
Well,
This was really needed for the character. This
well,
this
there was
kind of movie, this tone was exactly what the character needed.
I agree with you. There was the whole point of Superman. You see it in other, iterations. Is like sometimes he lets the damage happen. Other times he really tries to prevent it to a minimal. And I feel like in Man of Steel, bringing that up, it just wasn't anything prevented. Like in this, there's the scenes, with the gateway where the entire city of Metropolis is getting ripped in half. Like he can't prevent
Hmm.
that, so obviously it's going to happen. But it really shows that he tries to be perfect while knowing he's not perfect. Like he's not trying to be. Do you know what I'm trying to get at? He's
Yeah,
trying.
well,
He's not.
he
He's not a
has a
perfectionist. He's
massive
trying to do his
moment at
job.
the end of this movie where, well, I think something that benefited this movie the most was putting the emphasis on the man other than the super. He
Yeah.
is, you know what I mean? He is really a human being in this movie, and he has flaws. He can be hurt physically in this movie too. We'll talk about that in a second because he's, power scale. He's still working out the kinks a little bit. He can lose in a fight. And I think Gunn really wanted to hone back to that Silver Age Superman where he was getting hurt every issue. He
Yeah.
wasn't just indestructible. He is Superman in the movie, but he can get hurt
And
emotionally and physically.
going back to, I really want to focus on Superman's aspect. So going back to when you said, he's losing battles, this and that. The other reason I think, and you kind of do see it, especially when the nanites are being put in his lungs, and Lex is like, oh, he should die right now. He should be dead. It really shows you that he does hold back on purpose. And people are complaining, oh, he lost a lot. Like, Ultraman is a clone of a Kryptonian. Kryptonians can do damage to each other. They can't always kill each other, but they can do a lot of damage. And I like that we're seeing the vulnerable side of Superman. Like, this is a young, 3-year, inexperienced Man of Steel we're watching right now. And we're going to probably see a lot more growth. We're going to definitely see him get pushed to the edge of almost no return with killing. He knows killing's easy. That's why he holds back so much. It's so easy for him to just kill somebody. And I think a lot of people understand that's why, oh, Batman doesn't kill. It's too easy for him, or this and that. But then when Superman does that, everyone criticizes him. Why is he not
No,
killing?
I do like that you brought that up because it became clear to me at a point in the movie that I do think this is a less powerful Superman that we've seen in most of the movies. He does, or maybe it really is that. There is a scene towards the end where I realized he's been holding back this whole time. He does not want to hurt anyone. He does, even
Multiple
the people
times.
he's fighting. Yes,
He wants to be. He's a lover boy.
Yeah, when he finally pulls out his full power at the end of the movie, you're like, oh, he probably could have just solved a lot of this really quick. But that's the quick and easy route because, yeah, he's a godlike being who could really just do stuff in 2 seconds. And it kind of adds to the notion of why kind of the goofiness in the movie. This movie really is a love letter to Silver Age comics. It's such a high compliment I give the movie. It's the most comic booky movie I think we've ever gotten. It feels like just a comic book straight to the screen.
I don't disagree with that. And the other thing I want to say is they wrote Superman so well that his chemistry with these different characters throughout made you realize, and this is the big thing that made me happy. James Gunn has an established universe already. We know this. His plan wasn't to do reboot, movie by movie, introducing people to an established universe. You have Peacemaker, The Suicide Squad, Creature Commandos, and now Superman. So his relationship with Lois, that whole scene in the kitchen, did not even realize it was 12 minutes.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a great him with Lois was just beautiful chemistry, and I think a lot of people are going to overlook them and be like, oh, it dragged in this.
And that scene really establishes it really early on. Like, and you understand the relationship pretty well after it.
I want to understand the relationship. I don't want it where it's like, oh, they're in like some early stages. No. She is dealing with the conflict of dating the most powerful man in probably the Milky Way because, we don't know who else exists yet. But that's the good thing. You have the great chemistry between the two. You have a great chemistry between him and Lex. I mean, even him and some of the other heroes, like Guy and all of them, like have moments where he revealed his identity at Guy Gardner, and it shows that Clark and other iterations, like he's spoiled his super identity before, and I do like that all these relationships. You could see there's chemistry and history between the heroes and characters previously before this movie.
Yeah, I mean, Gunn really jumped right into the DC universe. It's not like a beginning like, kind of like Iron Man was. It really was a stepping off point. He's really trying to just insert you right into the world, which is in some ways he throws a lot at you in this movie, but I think ultimately it works because it really is just it's confidence. It's his full confidence on display that he gets the source material and he's done his research.
But yeah, I think also the dynamic with the small amount of time he had with his parents from Kansas, very small interaction I think to what we've gotten in the past. Mm-hmm. But I think that was great.
Yeah, again, he throws a lot at you in this movie, and I think some people could have been fleshed out more for sure. So definitely some people at the Daily Planet. I'll definitely just shout that out. Like even I think the only true people that get a good spotlight in this movie are Jimmy and Lois.
Those are usually the main people.
Those are usually the main ones, so I won't argue. But, it's like you could probably do – if you're going to have this whole cast of characters, maybe have them do a little bit more than just, kind of just be a cast of characters.
Totally agree.
Let's talk about the characters, though. What characters worked for you in this movie the most?
I really didn't have a character where I was like, I didn't like. There was the one thing I really want to say just because, I was a big fan of him from Brave and the Bold. And, I love Metamorpho. And even – Justice League Unlimited and other iterations he's been in, but I didn't like the Joey scene with his kid. But the thing is with Metamorpho is in a lot of different versions of him, he gets manipulated to be a bad guy at first and then becomes a good guy.
Yeah.
So I like the pick of him manipulating Kryptonite. I really do. You get to see a great. I think he's a very slept-on character. And before everyone calls him overrated and he gets popular, I've liked him before he was popular. And
Yeah.
I think that was a very cool character. I thought he was actually done very well. Like Rex, especially when you see him watching Superman, like the whole thing in Baravia in his house, and it's like a little rundown. Like he was like kind of a crook before he became a hero. Same thing, I really liked how he did him. I liked how he did Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific is a genius with, a little bit of attitude and humor. Guy Gardner, an unbearable ass, and they did that correctly. And not unbearable where I didn't like him. Loved him throughout the movie. That is how Guy Gardner is supposed to be done. And I really think James Gunn does his homework on all these characters and does a great job. The only character that didn't really fit with me right off the bat is probably going to be Hawkgirl, but at the same time, it's like
I think she was just a little underdeveloped.
Not that, but the killing scene, is that Kendra Saunders or is it Shia Hall? So
yeah, again, like I just don't think they really delved into her character much.
Agreed.
Because you have the great scene with Mr. Terrific, which I actually maybe the best action scene in the movie, which is kind of crazy to say. It's a Superman movie, and he doesn't have
James Gunn written all over
it's very much the James Gunn action scene for sure, but in all the right ways for sure. It has the great song and just the choreography is just incredible. And Lois is just standing there like, whoa, like this guy's actually pretty legit, and he's just a dude. He doesn't even have superpowers. They did Mr. Terrific justice in this movie.
Mr. Terrific stole the show in a lot of people's eyes, and I've seen a lot of talk about more him than everyone, because I know he now is signed to other projects regarding Mr. Terrific, so we'll see. But the person I really thought killed it, like actually just really showed what a villain should be, and it's going to be Holt as Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
And people forget, Lex Luthor in other iterations, like I always going to go back to Justice League because it feels like that DCAU vibe with Bruce Timm. It's like Lex Luthor in that gives himself kryptonite cancer because of how much he hates Superman and has all these plans nonstop where he's involved other supervillains. Like
he was at that level of hate in this movie, no doubt.
He's at that level of hate, and that's how it's supposed to be. It's not like the Joker where he hates Batman but doesn't. He loves the chase. Lex Luthor wants Superman dead. He wants him framed. He wants a Justice League framed, and you get that in this. And the one thing I also that I really liked about this movie, going into the trailer, a lot of people speculated that the Justice Gang was going to be hired to go after Superman, but they were doing their own thing, which made me very happy to also see that on screen, that it was very not like those, false rumors that we were getting. But
yeah, I think the story played out really well, especially because I think it jumps right into it. Like, into the movie, Lex is trying to kill Superman. It's just his plot is already unraveling, before the movie starts. So it really just jumps you right into a Superman story, and it just... It's quick. It really just But again, for Holt as Luthor, I think he is such a good. He's probably the closest to the comics I would say we've gotten, because you compare him to Hackman, and his like the whole he's living underground in a subway, and you know what I mean. Like this really felt like the Luthor from the comics, and let's not even talk about Jesse Eisenberg, because that wasn't Lex Luthor. That was Lex Jr.
Or what's his name? 2.5 Men. Oh
different.
My God. Yeah.
Different. He was a different character for sure. But Holt just right away. Honestly, the three main cast members of Lois, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois, Cornslet as Superman, and then Holt as Luthor, they nailed it. They really nailed it for them, and it didn't even take long. I would say 10, 15 minutes into the movie, I completely bought into all three of those performances.
The one thing I definitely want to give merit to with this movie is James Gunn's unique casting, I want to say. Like I said, he will do his homework on these characters and find who really fits him. And a lot of people are like, oh, Cornswet just looks like Cavill, blah, blah, blah. And then we go watch the movie, I'm like, wow, his energy on and off, like he embodies Superman. And one thing I do want to be hopeful for the future now is, like, whoever else gets casted, I really have faith in James Gunn. Even, like, it was cool that he had a lot of the Guardians cast members as the different robots helping, Superman, but like
there were a couple that I was a little iffy on. I mean, Bradley Cooper as Jor-El kind of took me for a...
I agree with you, but at the same time, the one reason it didn't bug me that much, and I tried to think out loud about this, but Jor-El was going to be young in that regardless. Like, yes, you could have went the more lesser known route, but for some reason, Jor-El, like you've said in the past, Jor-El's always very famous.
Yeah,
And
always ridiculous. I mean, Marlon Brando played Jor-El in the original, which is,
yeah,
and then you have Russell Crowe in Man of
yeah.
Steel, which is also a great performance. And then now you have Bradley Cooper, which is kind of like I didn't see that coming really. I was
No,
like
not at
actually
all.
kind of, I mean, he's one of Gunn's go-tos, but still like interesting casting.
I think I know
Say
why
the least.
Gunn did it though. I think obviously he's going to talk to his friends about coming into the universe because Alan plays in Creature Commandos. He plays in Peacemaker, I think. And
Well,
now he's
Tudyk is
number
he's
4.
hard not to. He's just such a good voice actor that it's
He's a
hard
great
not to use
voice
him.
actor, but
Yeah.
and the same thing with the Guardians cast where he tries to incorporate them in everything, even the Suicide Squad. I think
Mm-hmm.
Bradley Cooper probably wasn't going to play another superhero role in the DCU, so he probably just did something small like this, which I
Yeah.
respect James for always wanting to include his friends. I mean, to us it sticks out because it's Bradley Cooper, but at the end of the day, it's not too big of a deal. He did his lines, big impact on the character in the movie. And that was it. They didn't.
That was a big lore change though with Jor-El.
It
That was
was.
probably one of the biggest gripes I've seen with the movie is
I
that
s-
change.
I
Because
still
it's
think
very Invincible-esque, you know?
I agree, but I still think that the message isn't fully translated correctly. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, even if it wasn't, I think it worked for the movie because
No,
again, the movie is about him embracing the human side of his heritage as opposed to the Kryptonian side.
Yeah.
So for the story Gunn was trying to tell here, it just works anyway.
No, it
You know?
does. I respect it, but I was just gonna say my take on it is when they were translating the beginning of the message, it wasn't even word for word. Like there was a couple of words that I'm like, okay, it's a little off. And then Superman doesn't speak Kryptonian, so he always would have the robots read it to him. So I think if he had them translate, it would have been different. I'm not gonna trust Lex Luthor's pro linguistic translators. Like they, you could sound things out.
I just feel like it's not going to be brought up again unless it is, unless I'm wrong.
We'll see. And I mean,
Possible.
Superman's confirmed to be in Peacemaker 2 in a scene. So I mean, like Gunn said it himself, he's going to return in the next project. So I mean,
I don't know if that's a confirmation on Peacemaker, but I think he said he'll return in his next movie that he's
I
writing.
thought
He's
he said he
writing
was
it.
gonna be in-
He's producing it. I would love to see him in Peacemaker, but I also think that will happen, but I don't think there's any confirmation.
I
on that.
think he'll get like a scene, maybe like on TV or something, like in the background. Like that's
Just
what I
like Peacemaker got in this movie.
100%. That's what I think he's going to do. But
Yeah.
I definitely want us to talk about Man of Steel because that's the last Superman movie.
Yeah,
we've gotten. With
I
this
guess
and-
we'll compare it. We'll compare it briefly. I'm a Man of Steel defender. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't like Man of Steel. I think
I
Man
like
of Steel is a good movie. However, I admit it is an elseworld or alternate take on the character of Superman. It gets some things I wouldn't say wrong because everyone can have their interpretation of who Superman is. However, to me, he is supposed to be a very hopeful and fun character. And Man of Steel does not really highlight that part of the character. It highlights his epicness and his grandness very well. And I think the visuals on display in Man of Steel are maybe still the best we've ever gotten for Superman. I
agree.
I genuinely think I don't think this movie topped that. I don't think this James Gunn movie topped that. However, in its interpretation of the character and what it represents, I think Gunn got it a little bit more correct.
I wouldn't even say a little bit more correct, fully correct. The one thing I just felt like lacked in Man of Steel. I love Man of Steel. I've been defending it forever. The amount of times people just hated on it because of
No,
Batman.
it's a
versus
good movie.
Superman. It is a great movie, and I won't forget when I saw it in theater as a kid. But
Yeah.
the thing that Gunn did was, or Man of Steel lacked, they focused so much more on his God complex, and I feel like they lacked in his empathic and sympathetic.
You don't really, yeah.
God.
It's like you don't get that. Like, why does he really care about humanity?
You don't get raw emotion at
Yeah.
all, and that's what I thought. Like him killing Zod, I just feel like was so. Once that happened, I'm like, why is Superman killing somebody? Like the whole
Yeah,
point is
that too is just
in the
it's-
Injustice universe, he kills Joker, and it's like, oh, it's the easy way. It's like,
and he goes evil because he kills someone.
And he
Yeah,
goes
but
evil,
he kills
so-
someone and he stays good is
But-
interesting.
for what Snyder did, I will say I respect it a lot because a lot of people do forget to be in charge of a movie like that and to make a very big jump with the character and really that is a bigger lore change than what we got with Jor-El in this movie. It is significantly
yeah.
bigger. I mean, it's not even debate, but I respect it a lot, and for what it was, I'm like, Man of Steel was a great movie, but just this to me screams Superman. Man of Steel screams like God among humans. That's what it
Yeah.
screams to me, and not in a bad way.
It's crazy to me that we really do have a dark depiction of Superman to watch, to just watch. Like it really
Batman you can
is.
expect, but him no.
Yeah, I mean, Batman should be dark. Superman is supposed to be kind of they're supposed to be the inverse of that. Literally, he's the
Yeah,
light and Batman's the dark. But we had a dark Superman movie, and
we really
I
did.
mean, it was a good movie. But yeah, it doesn't really work when you're trying to establish a universe of heroes, and he's supposed to be the hopeful, kind of the leader of them all. I think it works much better here with Gunn.
I agree. And yeah, speaking about James Gunn, I mean, what a run he's been having though
Yeah.
with superhero stuff. I mean, 4 projects with Guardians. The special, the 3 different movies.
Mm-hmm.
See, he's
Two
got
DC
4
movies.
projects. He's got 4 projects now. So I mean,
He's got 5 different comic book movies now. Where would you rank Superman? What is your complete list of those 5? Honestly,
man, Guardians 1. It's gonna be my 1.
I think I gotta agree with you there.
Guardians 3
Yeah.
at 2. I think that was like a perfect conclusion.
Guardians 3, okay.
And then 3rd place is gonna shock everyone. It's not Superman. I'm not even saying it to be different, but I think the way he hit all these characters and how different all their chemistries are, like the Suicide Squad, I thought was phenomenal. It wasn't too colorful, but it was like that was the whole point of the Suicide Squad. A lot of these characters are colorful characters, and a lot of them are not, such as Bloodsport, King Shark.
I think his crude humor really worked in that one as well. Like his signature style of humor really lent well to the Suicide
I agree,
Squad.
and I feel like it didn't feel like too much like a James Gunn film. Like in some scenes, like yeah, it did, but it wasn't like this. Where in Superman, I have a.
I'm gonna argue with you a little bit there. I think Superman kind of is where he stood away from his tropes a little more.
Really?
I think the Suicide Squad definitely was a James
Really?
Gunn movie. They all are.
The only thing
All,
that
they're,
really
they're all good. They're all James Gunn movies. Like let's
There's
like
only
he
2
had
scenes.
they feel like Gunn movies, but I think Superman he really moved away from the crudeness of his humor a little bit and really it was more hopeful and
it was wholesome.
Because think about the Guardians and the Suicide Squad. They're all like jabbing on each other and like putting each other down. They're a family at the end of the day, but they're like or at least the Guardians are.
I agree, but the reason I want to say it didn't fully feel like James Gunn is because there's only 2 scenes that stuck with me that felt James Gunn, and the 2 scenes are the beginning where you're going through the entire like everyone's body on the floor, and it's I forgot what song is playing, but it's like everyone die, and it's literally just the cameraman going to every body on the ground, everyone dead. You see Pete Davidson's body, you see Mangala, you see all of them on the ground, which is crazy now that a lot of those characters that are dead is now canon to think, like Captain Boomerang and them. But no, and that scene, and then the Harley Quinn scene with her, with Javelin's literal javelin, like that was the scene. But
great, those are great sequences.
Those are the only 2 that really stood out to be like very James Gunn to me. I thought the Suicide Squad was great and true to a lot of those characters, and considering what he did in that movie, I thought it was phenomenal.
I think he just makes he's great for this genre because he just creates bangers. Let's be real.
He's so creative,
hit
and I
after
really
hit.
respect it. I respect how creative he is with all these characters, the characters he chooses and selects. Like he could have picked anyone for the Superman film. I mean, even including Supergirl, I thought we didn't even brush up on that, but including her, I thought was perfect for this, just because people don't realize she's an immature teenager, and we haven't had the right creation of her in media in a very long time. Like I'm gonna be real. Batman, Superman, was it Doomsday or Apocalypse? I forget which one where Darkseid corrupts her, but
Apocalypse, yeah.
it's Apocalypse. She's an immature teenager. You see her in this, she's drunk, she flew to another planet. Like that's sick.
They definitely want to make her really different as opposed to Superman because he's. You know what I mean? It would be boring if she was so much like Superman because they have the same powers.
She's got to be mature, and I really want to say something about Crypto also because we didn't even touch up on like a real hidden star.
Crypto.
I really liked it because some people thought it was overused, but I really thought it wasn't. I think it balanced out how Superdog is supposed to be. He is supposed to be not like in a nuisance. I like that he made him like that, but he's an overpowered character. A lot of people don't realize Superdog is a strong character.
He's got all his powers. He's just a dog.
So you just get to see that firsthand. I just feel like James really had a lot on his plate for this movie, and I think it's great.
He handled it well. He handled it well for sure. I mean, where does this? If you're thinking about all the Superman movies, is this higher on the list? I mean, I think undoubtedly it is for me for sure.
It's gonna be one or two. I gotta rewatch Reeves, and I want to see this movie again.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I'm not even gonna. I really think if you combine the best elements of the Donner original, the best elements of Man of Steel, which is like more the visuals, and then the best elements of this, which is like the character and just the world building,
Yeah.
you got the perfect movie. That's the perfect Superman movie
I
right
I think
there.
it's probably one. I just don't want to disrespect Reeves and just not rewatch in case there's like
Yeah.
you know.
Because I will
But
admit, I think Reeves still is the perfect depiction of the character. Like he
I think it's
really
the
just
best
is the
Superman
character.
movie.
But Cornset did a great job and really did a great job honing back to that Reeve era of like, hopefulness and just he's a friend. You know, he really is just out for everyone. He could, the perfect comparison I can do is Henry Cavill's Superman. I would not imagine saving a cat out of a tree like Reeve, but Cornsweat, 100%, I'd see him do that, and he saves, animals in this movie just like that. So it's
Where would
that's
this movie rank for you in James Gunn movies?
James
Or, like,
Gunn. Yeah, I think my list for James Gunn movies would be very similar to yours. Or comic book movies. I think one, I'd go Guardians 1 because it's just such a perfect movie, and he really just did so much justice for those characters, and now they're just household names, which is insane. And then 2, I think I will actually go. Yeah, I will have to agree with you in Guardians 3 just because he wrapped up the trilogy so well. But my one disagreement I'll make with you is that 3 I'm going to give Superman, at least for now. I do think Superman really got the character right. 4, the Suicide Squad, because, yeah, great DC flick. 5, Guardians 2, but all these movies are great. He's skilled. All these movies are really good, and I've rewatched all these movies multiple times. Superman I'm going to rewatch tonight. I'm going to see it again in the theater. But, yeah, these are all movies that I happily want to rewatch because they're really great.
I definitely liked the approach to this movie, especially how it. I want to be honest about the post credit scene. So spoiler warning in case you haven't seen it. You don't care about anything else, but you care about this. I like that his credits kind of didn't lead us too much on. A lot of post credit scenes, I feel like give you too much. Like, yeah, we saw Supergirl. We know there's a Supergirl movie. We know Logos Momoa, but seeing her personality like doesn't leave you with too much. It just makes you asking questions like, what is their relationship like? Like it's gonna be Clark's like the parent.
I mean, the post credit scenes in this movie didn't reveal anything. I actually appreciate it. It did not lead to any new movies. Peacemaker season 2 didn't matter. It was just trying to have fun. James Gunn was just trying to have fun with it, and it really was just a scene that could have been in the movie. It was a scene at the end that I waited for the entire credits, but I liked it. I thought it was a good cap to the movie. It was just a fun scene with him and Mr. Terrific, which I think that relationship they nailed.
Some of the shots I thought also looked phenomenal in the film. Like everyone talks about the bridge scene, the Fortress of Solitude, but there was.
I'm just mad they revealed it in the trailer. I think so many of the great shots were revealed in the trailer. That's an issue with the marketing, not an issue with the movie. But it's so many of these comic book movies they reveal the best shots in the trailers.
I agree, but the one that stood out to me, it wasn't crazy, but I thought it was very hopeful. Is literally when he has the entire building on his back, and you see the side. I don't know what type of shot it would be. But I just thought to me, I'm like, that's Superman. Like, that is him holding up an entire building for the people. Like, it just, James Gunn really had, the first superhero ever. Like, a lot of pressure on his shoulders. This man had so much pressure.
With the Mecha.
And he delivered. And I just want us to definitely talk about now that, Superman's done. We fully revealed the movie. What are you expecting next? He has a bunch of projects coming out in the next 2 years. Confirmed.
Like you mentioned before, I really think this felt the most like the DC animated universe or like the Superman the animated series that we grew up with. Yeah. I really want to see Superman and Batman, the brave and the bold.
World's finest.
World's finest. Thank you. We need that. We need their actual relationship because, yes, we got a Batman and Superman movie, but that's not their relationship. It's supposed to be more. It's the light and the dark. They're supposed to counter each other out.
Good cop
back. I want to see that. That's what I want to see. I want to see them nail that. But I also want to see them do really obscure characters. Let's see. I mean, I think they're going down that direction. We're going to see a Clayface movie, which is
rated R horror film.
Rated R horror movie Clayface.
It's confirmed for this universe, and I think one thing I did see James Gunn talk about, and I'm really happy, is he's like, I don't want all these movies to be the same or have a formula. Which, thank you, thank you, because that is the biggest issue I had with Snyder, and it's not a dig at him. I liked his take, but every movie felt gloomy and the same. I want a gloomy noir style movie.
Yeah.
Give me The Question. Give me an old give me Etrigan, Swamp Thing if you want to go that route. Justice League Dark, Constantine, Zatanna, Zataro. I mean,
There's
Blue Devil
there's
even.
so many avenues they can go down in DC, and a
Grifter.
lot of avenues that I think Marvel didn't really tap super well that I think they can tap a lot better.
They have.
So
I'm going to be honest, and it's not because I love DC so much, but when it comes to quantity of great writing, I think DC has better than Marvel. I
But they
think
also
Marvel.
just have their especially their three core main characters, the DC Trinity, are the most interesting characters in comics, as
They
opposed
are.
to maybe Spider-Man's up there as well. But Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, the Justice League themselves are just very interesting characters, and they all
Martian
deserve
Manhunter needs his own
exactly.
film.
Even Martian Manhunter, who I think never gets enough justice, great shout.
People really
That'd be
forget
great.
how overpowered he is too. So seeing that on the big screen, fully developed, like
Yeah.
he could take on Superman. Realistically, he can, which is going to be very interesting to see him. But we have Peacemaker season 2 coming out, and before I want to get into what I want to see, Maxwell Lord we see in this movie. It's Gunn's brother. My prediction is this is going to be how he ties in Superman in a sort of way, especially with
Yeah.
the TV scene. 'Cause the
Especially
TV
he's like
scene
he
felt
doesn't really
horrible.
have much to do. He doesn't really do anything in Superman. So I do feel like he was being saved for something else. I do agree with you there.
And Peacemaker's there, and Peacemaker likes to go after corrupt corporations and all these other threats. So I think there's going to be something with Lord and Peacemaker in this new season that's going to kind of tie the universe together. I mean, John Cena said they're going to tease a little bit what the big thing is with this universe. So I think it's going to be Lord as the villain. I know what I think's crazy is I think we're going to see something interdimensional such as Batmite or Mr. Mixapix. We'll see who, but I really
I
think
know you want to see Batmite after
I
his shout in
really do.
Peacemaker season 1. I know you want to see him.
When I heard that, you guys saw your phone blow up, and I was texting so much. But it just people forget how overpowered those characters are. They're some of
Those are
those
fun characters too. Like,
But
it's
they're
tough to put them in the movies because it's like they're kind of like episodic characters, where it's just like put them in like one episode. It's like a quick fight. It's kind of hard to make Batmite like the central
significant.
character of a project.
I mean, he doesn't
You
have to
know?
be. I mean, I don't think he's gonna be crazy involved. Maybe like 2 episodes, but I think there's gonna be something multi-dimensional level to.
Well, yeah, they're playing a lot of TV shows too, and I mean, new
Creature
announcement,
Commandos was great.
Creature
too.
Commandos, but also Mr. Miracle.
Yeah. Oh my God, we didn't even talk about that. So these
Yeah.
are the projects we have to
Reminding
do.
you, yeah. Let's talk about the projects that we know are coming out. So we
Peacemaker
got
season
Peacemaker
2,
season 2's coming.
Rated R Green Lantern,
Rated R Green
Mr.
Lantern
Miracle,
series, Mr.
Mr.
Miracle,
Um,
and Damon Lindelof is working on
yeah.
Lanterns, which makes me
Supergirl.
super excited, really excited.
We have Supergirl also.
Supergirl's
still.
filming right now.
And I believe there's one more project that I'm
I mean,
forgetting.
they're said to be working on the Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, Brave and the Bold.
Yeah,
which is
I mean,
with
there's so
Damon.
much in the works, and obviously Clayface.
And apparently
And,
there's
yeah,
a
I mean-
rumored Teen Titans movie that they're casting for. I don't know how accurate that is, but if Brave and the Bold is really focused around Batman and Damian, I think we can get a killer squad for the Teen Titans movie.
Yeah,
Like,
I would love to see Teen Titans finally. I mean, they've got in live action, but like, let's not talk about that. Yes, I do. But this movie, Superman, really made me excited for what's to come because it reminded me DC really does have so much working for it, and it just didn't get the justice it deserved when they tried to restart a whole new universe, and they tried to do the Marvel thing in 2012. But yeah, I'm really excited to see where it goes, and I'm happy that they're going to lend into different genres and not just make the same movie and over again, because we know what happens when that happens.
exactly. And the one thing I did think is cool now, just because I want to bring up the horror aspect of Clayface rated R, but this is going to open a whole new world for DC. And the beauty of the DC universe is a lot of Marvel stories intricate all these heroes in one. DC has different things happening at the same time in their timeline, which I respect, because you
Yeah.
can have Batman dealing with, say, something during the Arkham City, video game. On the other side of the DC universe, you have Aquaman dealing with something crazy. You have
Yeah.
people in space in the Watchtower. You have the Lantern Corps doing this. You have that. It's not everyone's coming together to do different things, which is why I'm excited for the Green Lantern show now, because Stewart.
I think you do make a great point.
Guy.
They make it make a lot more sense, even with Superman being a character, to like why these characters are doing different things at different times.
Like, I'm going
know?
to be so real. The most requested thing for me personally that I want to see James Gunn do We know there's a lot of corruption in Gotham, Metropolis. There's crazy things. I'm pushing for the Question to have something
I knew you were about to
because
say it. This man wants a question series. James Gunn, please, if you're somehow hearing this, make a question series or a movie even. Give him something because I know you love I know you love the Question.
it's because he's such a difficult and complex character where it's like, yeah, he has this
He doesn't
love
have a
relationship.
face.
Well, he does. He wears something over it. Like, yeah,
I know. It's just like
It-
that's his look.
it's so cool, but yeah, he loves, he has his love interest, Huntress. He's had a couple others, whatever, but it's how smart he is. Like, if you've seen in the comics, even the Justice League, the entire board with all these different characters, if you pay attention, it's very cool how he brings in characters from other shows together and how everything's tied together. Seeing him in like maybe post credit, it's like him at a chalkboard in like a dim light, and it's him throwing stuff, and it's like him trying to figure out why everything's connected.
This is
Like,
your push. This is your
this
push.
is
For
my
the
push.
Question.
But I'm passionate about DC and the fact of how different their characters are from each
Yeah, and
other.
I do think James Gunn is the perfect person to be running this because he is not afraid to do obscure characters. He'll put vigilante into a
And
project.
I agree with you, but the thing I was going to say about just specifically about the Question, I'll wrap this up. But James Gunn really knows how to make people fall in love with characters are no name that deserve love,
Yeah.
and that's a character who does have a fan base. It's just
DC has a lot of them. DC has a lot of them, and your favorite superhero ever, I think, deserves some justice. Nightwing needs to be. I want a Teen Titans thing. I want Nightwing being a character. I totally agree with you there because we haven't really had a good Robin ever. I'm going to just
live
say.
action. We haven't had.
I don't think. I mean, obviously
like,
cartoons, amazing Robins, but
people
live
forget.
action, whatever you want to say, Chris O'Donnell. I'm sorry, we've never really gotten a good Robin live action.
We haven't, and no shot at the actors on Titans at all. It's not your fault. It's more of the writing, like how they wrote some of them. It's been poor. The one thing I really do want to see if they do bring Dick to the light for Titans is, give me the Starfire. Like, I want some relationships and chemistry between everything. I don't want it where it's like Robin's with maybe Zatanna or maybe with Oracle, Batgirl. Like,
Joe wants to see him with Starfire.
I mean, a lot of people like don't understand in depth like that Robin's had multiple love interests, and I think it would be very poor to make a decision like that and hurt the film. I think you need to have the correct script for that movie, and crazy take. I don't think the main villain should be Slade. Actually, I think it should be. Yeah. I think that's too important of a character to introduce early. I know everyone should understand it. But I would rather see the Hive as like the big villain. Maybe the Hive has an edge for once on the Titans instead of
it's like their main group they fight.
Or Brother Blood.
I could see how giddy you are and see how excited you are for the future of DC.
Oh, it's crazy. I mean, even the Clayface from Creature Commandos, like that's gonna be the design for the horror movie. Like James Gunn wants to do all these different projects. He's not afraid to go the mature route, and DC's a little too mature in its writing for us to even try to kidify it. Like,
ignore that, yeah.
You can't.
They should lean into that. I totally agree.
So, but the last thing I definitely want to discuss, because we are supposedly getting a trailer soon, is what do we think the portrayal of Lobo is going to be in the Supergirl movie? Because it's the next connected to this film.
That is actually, we'll briefly talk about that because it's going to be interesting seeing Momoa, an actor from the DCU, take on a completely different character in the DCU.
A lot of people are going to be confused.
It's going to be, I think the general audience really will be confused, even with the makeup, whatever they do on him. I think a lot of people would be confused, but from the get-go, I think Momoa should have been casted as Lobo. That kind of was the character that he looks like Lobo. Like, it's kind of crazy he was casted as Aquaman. Obviously, they went with like the long-haired, whatever, punk rock look for Aquaman, which I don't really think totally worked. He wasn't even terrible though.
No, I actually liked him as Aquaman.
He was okay, but it's going to be weird. I think the general audiences it's going to take some time to adjust to that for sure.
That's what I wanted to bring up, because especially since he's talking about bringing back, Henry, who was Superman. So
that would be even weirder. That would be even weirder. I'm just going to say, not that I want Henry Cavill to get work. I think Henry Cavill's an amazing actor, but
he deserves
it. It's weird. It's interesting.
Momoa, I think, will smash it as Lobo. I said before James Gunn got the DCU, you remember I was like, that's Lobo to me. He just looks like Lobo. It's and he's got the what's the word? I don't want to say aura, but he has like the aura and feeling of Lobo.
He's got that Lobo look. But it's one thing to bring characters from the the DC to the DCU from the last incarnation and make it the same character. We got Amanda Waller being the same character. You got a few consistencies. Harley Quinn is going to be the same. But now it's completely different to have a character, an actor from that be a completely new character. It's very different.
Who's the next? Who's your next villain prediction for Superman? Because that's all I've been seeing buzz about.
I'm happy they went with Lex for the first time. I always think he's supposed to fight Lex first. That's usually who I think his first big villain should be. I really want to see Brainiac, but maybe save him a little bit. You're right. You're not wrong.
I want
maybe someone like Mongol. That'd be cool.
Mongol,
something new.
Parasite, Metallo, or even Vandal Savage.
Good shout. That'd be a cool
Silver Banshee.
He'd be a good villain just for the DC in general for big events or anything. I mean, Young Justice shows that he's a pretty big threat. He's not to be trifled with. He's actually. I mean, he's immortal. He's been around for quite a long time.
Even in Justice League Doom, he's a great villain in that. And it really shows you what he could
100%.
do. Superman's got a great coterie of villains. I think that's just always going to be slept on just because he's the Boy Scout. Because
you compare him to Batman. I mean, it's tough,
And who knows who Batman's going to be? That's the question.
Yeah, that is the question. I'm excited. I mean, what did you guys think of Superman? Did you enjoy it? Did you think that James Gunn did him justice or didn't really hit it quite on the money? Leave some comments below. But for GMR, I'm Dylan.
I'm Brandon.
We'll catch you guys next time.